Alright guys, welcome back one more time, and we're just going to cover some topics that are going to concern the gaming world. First of all, without a doubt, the past couple of years, the first-person shooter has been the definitive genre in gaming. Do you think that's going to be the same for 2011?
It's going to be the same forever. Nothing's going to top a shooter. They're always going to come out with different ideas for a shooter.
Everyone wants to kill something.
Exactly. People want to blow heads off.
And like I said before, I think we're going to make a transition from Modern Warfare to Future Warfare, like with Future Soldier, with Crysis 2. I think that those games, they're not going to touch the numbers that Modern Warfare or Halo has put out, but they'll be pretty close. Also, this year is actually looking like a good year for fighting games as well, because you got Marvel vs. Capcom 3,
Mortal Kombat,
and Mortal Kombat. Exactly. These are games that everybody's wanted to play. And games that have long anticipated release, especially Mortal Kombat, because it's stepping away from the 3D fighting style. It's stepping to 3D graphics, 2D gameplay, the way it should be, the way it should always be.
It's going back to 2D?
Yeah.
Really, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Which, to be honest, is a lot better.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the one thing that everybody always talks about, the console wars. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think there is such a thing as a console war?
There's definitely a console war.
Should there be a constituted console war?
Not really.
No, it just, I don't know. It makes developers choose which people are going to give them most money.
I mean, the main two are Xbox and PS3, and each has their own advantages. At the end of the day, it all depends on what you like better. That's all it is to it.
And really, I mean, like, what Microsoft and Sony did was they took, instead of looking at their own product and developing it, they looked at the other person, saw what was broken on theirs, and then they fixed it. Like, for example, you've got the Xbox 360's hardware, which are pieces of shit, and then you got Sony's, which is great. Then you got Sony's online,
which is shit.
And then you got Xbox Live, which is amazing. So they balance out. So I don't think there really should be these console wars where these fanboys, PS3's the best. We got, Mass Effect 2. We got you. And then everybody, this past year with Final Fantasy for the Xbox, we got Final Fantasy. We got you, PS3 fanboys. Just calm down.
It keeps the two consoles on their toes to keep the technology up.
That's true. It makes better competition.
But there really shouldn't be, because when you look at both systems, one always does one thing the other doesn't. There shouldn't be really a thing. Both of them are going to break down eventually. Everybody's like, Sony PS3 is invincible. Fuck that. It's going to break down.
My friend down the street has one, and his broke after a year.
See?
So,
So, calm down with the fanboy stuff.
I personally think Xbox is better. That's just me, because I think it has better games and it's just better in general. That's just me. I'm sure other people have better arguments for why PS3 is better.
Well, I'm pretty sure because they have better first-party titles than Microsoft does.
Yeah.
And also have free
better
online.
graphics.
Yeah, the free
online.
online.
Free online is not
even though it sucks,
great.
it's free.
Yeah.
But you can do a lot more with Xbox online.
They have bigger parties.
Huh?
They have bigger party online. They have up to 50 people in games on their online.
Oh, PS3?
Mm-hmm.
That's only for certain games.
There's certain games, but
that might be why it's lags. It's so slow there. You have so many people in one party. That's ridiculous. Anyway.
And this one was actually, we're going to get into 2010 versus 2011. Which do you think has the bigger year and why?
I think 2010 is better. You had Halo Reach come out. You have freaking Call of Duty Black Ops. The new Guitar Hero, Rock Band 3. You had a bunch of stuff come out this past year. Didn't Street Fighter come out in 2010? Or was that 2009?
Super Street Fighter came out, but you have to look. Street Fighter 4 was really what started it in 2009.
Yeah.
So
there's other
it was a good release by all means, but it was just a continuation.
Yeah.
It was an upgrade, is basically what it was.
True. There's a few other games. I can't think of them off the top of my head. I'd have to see a list and point them out. There's some other stuff that came out that was really big.
And 2010 also had more original titles, because what you were saying in 2011 is just all continuing of what already came out.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought 2010 had more continuation. Think about it. Halo Reach, even though it's a prequel, it is a continuation.
Yeah, but they're bigger titles, bigger names out there. They're a lot more popular.
If you looked at it, like Halo and Call of Duty, those are the two biggest releases for 2010.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah.
2011 is going to have a lot of big releases. big release that everybody's been waiting
Well, I mean,
for.
2010 also had Fallout New Vegas and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
We
It
got
had a
I
bunch
mean,
of
with 2011
a lot
possibly
better
having Assassin's Creed 3. There's no doubt Assassin's Creed 3 is going to outsell Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Well,
by far.
obviously,
sure
it's
it will.
a sequel.
Especially if they have the multiplayer that's in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, because I've heard the multiplayer in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is actually fairly decent.
Yeah, I mean, I just think 2010 had bigger titles, like sequel titles, but big names with big stories. I mean,
And I think, and I agree with you there, but I think the reason why 2011 is going to be bigger is because it's got smaller titles. Yet it's not Halo or Call of Duty, the monsters
I
of
don't
the
see
game
how it could
business.
be bigger because it's not.
But they're going to have more titles released. So rather than have just 2 big titles, there's going to be like 8 or 9 that are in this year alone.
I guess.
Think about BioShock, Dead Space.
BioShock 2 got released in 2010. That was a big anticipated game coming out.
And it sucked.
It was okay. It was fucking annoying as hell. I got stuck one part. I never beat it. It was pretty cool though.
And Uncharted 3,
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls, which is a big game. And to be honest, if Elder Scrolls wasn't coming out, we probably would see, maybe a Fallout 4. And actually, I forgot to write down, but actually Fallout 4 was actually somewhere in here. So, if they release both, Elder Scrolls and Fallout 4, they're going to be the head developers.
I guess. But 2011, that's really the only big titles coming out. Fallout, like you said,
Mortal Kombat, Dead Space 2,
Dead Space 2. Yeah,
Fear 3, Fear 3, Crysis 2.
I guess. Yeah, but games like that, those aren't really huge games. I mean, not a whole lot of people was crazy about those games.
Crysis 1 was actually one of the best-selling PC games of all time, right next to StarCraft 2. But when you bring it over to the console, and it's going to push the limits of that console to bring you the best graphics and they're saying probably some of the best online gameplay, then you got to figure.
Yeah, I guess.
And one of the bigger games would be Portal 2.
Portal 2, Batman Arkham City.
That's not really a huge game. That's a huge game for you, because you like that.
Well, you have to remember, Batman Arkham Asylum it won Game of the Year.
One game of the year?
For certain things. Because remember, they had the Arkham Asylum Arkham Asylum Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, true.
The only way you can get that is if you actually win a Game of the Year title somewhere.
I don't know. I just think 2010 had better titles, better releases. I'm not saying that 2011 releases are bad. I mean, there's some good stuff, but I just think 2010 was bigger.
Yeah. All right. Everybody's got an opinion. So.
Deal with it.
Your most anticipated release and why?
Contest?
I have no clue. All my big releases came out last year. I'd say Mortal Kombat, I guess, because that's my favorite fighting game. That's pretty much it. I mean, I would say another Guitar Hero or something, but I don't know if they're making another one.
They're not. This will actually be the first year we don't see a Guitar Hero release.
Well, they said that this past year, 2010, the only one they released was Warriors of Rock, because who was the Activision that heads it?
Yeah.
They're stepping down from it. They're not doing it anymore. I mean, someone else is probably going to pick it up and continue it. I mean, they just hadn't set a date or anything for another one yet.
But it just kind of feels out of place because each year we've had a different Guitar Hero release. Yeah, they've been like, Guitar Hero presents, Aerosmith or Greatest Hits or this and that. But it's been continuous every year.
Which they've all been hit and miss. I mean, Warriors of Rock is the best one since Guitar Hero 3, probably, because Guitar Hero 5 was just absolute shit. There was like 5 good songs on it, and that was it. But I mean,
your most anticipated release?
Probably be Assassin's Creed 3.
Alright.
Enjoy the game. That's why.
That's why you enjoy the game, alright. For me, I guess you guys can think, I actually have 2 that I'm really looking forward to. One, obviously Marvel vs. Capcom 3, because I love fighting games. And actually the second one is actually Future Soldier. I'm really looking forward to playing that. I've played Advanced Warfighters, Tom Clancy games, I love them.
I also played a Survive game. Or Stay Alive.
Oh, I'm Alive.
That game.
Stay Alive.